Hey, what's going on, Dodgers Nation? D-Mac here, and today I've got a special guest. I'm joined by two-time All-Star, World Series champion, Max Muncy joins the show. Thanks for rocking with us today, Max.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Thanks for having me on.
And now, Max, before we get into all the nitty-gritty baseball talk, I've got to ask you, how's the off-season going? How you living, my man?
It's been great. It's it's nice to be healthy going into off-season again. Been able to actually work out really hard, which has been nice. Last year with the elbow injury, I wasn't able to do anything at all. And, obviously I feel like that hurt me a lot. And, I'm a guy that likes to get after it in the offseason. So it's nice to be able to get back into that.
Yeah, Max, and you mentioned that torn UCL that you suffered during the Dodgers' final game of the 2021 season. You were forced to miss the entire postseason run. You were sorely missed. Now, fast forward to this offseason, and you're fully healthy once again. How important is it for you to get back to your normal offseason routine? And are you doing anything differently this offseason to get prepared for the season ahead?
I really feel like one of the most important parts of being a player is the off season. I feel like that's where you make your most gains and you're able to get the most endurance for the season. And, it's the two worst years I've had. Last year, obviously coming off the injury, but I wasn't able to work out at all in the off season. And then in 20, I had a really good off season. And then we had, the COVID thing. And so then it was like, well, here's 3 months where you're doing, a workout in the backyard, which didn't really amount to anything. And so my two worst years have come off years where I haven't really been able to get my off-season workouts in. So I feel like, that's one of the most integral parts of being a player is getting after it in the off-season.
Yeah, that's great to hear, because I know you're a guy that loves the process, that loves to put in the work, the day-to-day grind of being a big leaguer. You're a baseball junkie, a cage rat. So it must have been extremely frustrating to not have your normal off-season routine, but it's good to hear that you're back and fully healthy. But I want to ask you a little more about your 2022 season. You came into the year coming off an all-star season in 2021 where you led the team with 36 home runs and finished in the top 10 in MVP voting. But you got off to a slow start by your standards in 2022. But then by August, you were back to being one of the most dangerous hitters in all of Major League Baseball. Talk about how you were able to turn your season around last year and grind your way back to being one of the best hitters in the game.
I thank my teammates and coaches a lot. Obviously it was a really tough start for me, but the whole season, all those guys were just picking me up. They kept staying in my ear about, hey, we know what kind of player you are. We know you're going to help us in the long run. We know you're going to help us in October. And, when you just have a whole collective group of guys, whether it's the front office, coaching staff, or your teammates, and they're all in your ear about that, it gets pretty hard to not believe in yourself. And, to me, that was one of the biggest things is, when you're showing up to the park and those guys are always checking on you and making sure you're doing okay, one, that makes you feel better, but two, it makes you want to get that much better because you don't want to let those guys down. It turns into a family is what it is. And so when you're playing bad, you feel like you're letting down your family. And, that's something that no one really wants to do. And so when those guys are in your ear the whole time, man, it's it really helps you to kind of turn it around a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can just tell the organization, your teammates, the coaches, everyone had your back, and it was only a matter of time before you were going to turn it around. But I was just going to ask you about that adjustment that you just mentioned, where as the pitch would arrive, you would take a half step back with your left leg as you were getting into your swing. And Max, I wanted to ask you, one, whose idea was it to make that adjustment? And two, how did it help you have more success at the plate and get you back on track?
That was almost like a last ditch effort, man. It was, we knew what the problem was, and the problem was I was working too uphill. I couldn't get my swing to go downhill, whether it was with my shoulders or my hips. I just couldn't work downhill, and that all stemmed from my elbow. When I was coming back from the elbow, when it started getting healthy, I was doing a move that felt comfortable to me. And in the end, even though it was comfortable, it was the wrong move. It was causing me to work uphill, which was causing me to lose bat speed. I was underneath balls. I was fouling them off. When I was making contact, it wasn't good contact. And so we had to get my swing to work downhill. And for a month or 2 months, really, we were doing drills in the cage to just try and get my swing to work downhill. And, when it was in the cage, when it was in BP, everything was working great. And as soon as we got in the game, my body started working uphill again. And that was a problem for several months, and we knew it, and we were trying to fix it, and we just couldn't get it to fix. And so, it got to a point where I was starting to throw my hands up and just be like, I don't know what's going on right now. Because there'd be certain days where it would work. And, But, the majority of the days it wasn't. And, it got to a point where we were in I believe it was our last trip to Colorado, which was July 20th or something around that date. I don't know what it was. Where I was doing an early grinder session in the cage with Rob and Brant. And, we literally were just doing different things. I was Happy Gilmore in my swing. I was hitting right-handed. I was just doing all sorts of stuff. And it got to a point where it was like, okay, what else can we try at this point? And, we were in Colorado and we started talking about Nolan, and Nolan's one of the most fidgety guys in the batter's box. And he does the step back, and it's very integral to what he does. And, I don't know if it was Rob or Brand. One of them was like, hey, just try it. Why not? What else do you have to lose at this point? And I was like, I got nothing to lose. So, we're sitting there, do a couple front toss swings. They're filming it. And, I hit a couple balls and I look over at them, and they're kind of just smiling at me. And I was like, is that bad? Is that good? What's going on with that? And they kind of showed me the slow-mo, and they go, your body is in perfect position for how you need to swing. I said, well, let's try a couple more. Took a couple more swings, went out to the field, took BP. I tried it. It felt really, really, really awkward. But I was hitting low line drives, something that I hadn't really been doing all year. We said, hey, let's take it into the game. What do we have to lose at this point? I think at that point I was hitting like 140 or 150. It was, atrocious. And so I was, it's like, how much worse could it really possibly get? I go out there and, the first three balls I hit, I think I was 1 for 3, but all 3 balls that I hit were just low line drives, kind of in the center of the field, something that I hadn't done all year. And from that point forward, we just went with it. It kept putting my body in a position to work downhill, something that I couldn't get my elbow to do. And so it just kind of made it easier.
Yeah, Max. And what I find so interesting is the fact that not only do you make that adjustment, but you actually implement it in a game. I mean, how many big leaguers, especially ones that are at your level, would try that in a game? I'm guessing not very many. But I heard you mention Brant Brown just now. I want to talk about him for just a second. How much is this club going to miss Brant Brown this season?
I think it'll be a big loss, but Aaron Bates is stepping in, and I love Batesy, and I think he's got a lot of good ideas. For me personally, it hurts a lot. I worked very closely with Brant for the last 4 or 5 years, and going back to when we cut Turner loose, when we cut Turner Ward loose, or he took the job with the Reds. I worked very closely with Brant for all those years. And so for him being gone, that one's going to be a tough one for me. But I also love Batesy, and and of course I love Rob. Rob's great. So we got 2 guys that are going to, work well together, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Brant Brown is going to be missed, but there is no shortage of elite hitting coaching in this Dodgers organization. But Max, I want to circle back to that adjustment that we were just talking about. Is that going to be a part of your swing moving forward, even into this season?
I'm trying to phase it out.
Yeah.
Now that I've had a full off season, getting stronger and getting healthy, the past couple of weeks that I've been starting my swing, I'm doing no step back. I'm trying to make sure that I'm very cognizant of what my body is doing. I'm checking the film on it, and I'm trying to make sure I'm working downhill. And if it's something that I don't like, the extra movement in the timing aspect of it. So I would like to not have to do it, but I know it's there if I need it.
Yeah, it's good to know you got that club in your bag if you need to use it. Sometimes you have to take a step back to take a step forward, and you absolutely did that last season. Now, Max, I wanted to ask you about your future with the club, because back in August, you signed that 1-year extension with the club option for 2024, and I know you're focused solely on the upcoming season, but what would it mean to you to be with the Dodgers beyond next year and possibly finish out your career in L.A.?
Well, obviously, I'm hoping the option is turned into something a little more longer term. But like I said, I think my relationship with the Dodgers, I think I control my own destiny with that. If I go out there and I play well, I think we can make it happen. But if I go out there and I don't play well, then they're not going to just sit around and hand things out. So I think I control my own destiny with that. And like I said, if I go out there and I play well, we can make something happen.
Yeah, and look, Max, it's crazy to think that you're one of the few remaining members of that core team that had so much success, multiple pennants, a World Series title. Well, next year is going to be a new-look Dodgers team. Belly's in Chicago, Trey's in Philly, but I want to ask you specifically about Justin Turner. He signs with the Red Sox. What was your reaction to JT signing with Boston, and what's it going to be like in that Dodgers clubhouse without JT there?
Yeah, that one hurt. That was, all of those guys leaving hurt, obviously. It's just, you spend every day with these guys and you develop such relationships with them. And, even Trey only having been with us for, the year and a half that he was, it's, those guys leaving, it really hurts. But with JT, man, that's a really tough one. That guy, that's his clubhouse. That was his clubhouse. He controlled everything. It's, there's so many little things that JT brought to the team that no one even knows about. Just little things as simple as, every year we have a group chat with all the players. JT's the guy that sets all that up. He's the one that's, figuring out who's getting called up, who's getting sent down. He's changing out the numbers. And, that's not to say that not anybody could do that, but, he took it upon himself to do that because, that's the kind of the leader he was. Every time we flew into a city, JT is setting up a team dinner at a restaurant for everybody. Hey guys, we're going to go out. We're going to go to the steakhouse. We're going to have a good time. And I know JT always focused on that because if the whole team is going out and doing that, we're creating such a brotherhood that it's easier to play for each other when you just have those kind of relationships. And that was something that JT brought to the team that, and there's countless other things that he would do that people don't know about. And so not having him, that one's really going to hurt.
Yeah, absolutely. He did so much for this team, for this organization. Just hearing some of those thoughts of him setting up all the meetings in the group chat. We know about that legendary group chat, of course, back in the 2020 postseason. So we'll see who steps up, who's going to be that leader. Is it something that collectively you guys do almost leader by committee? Is there a certain player that you kind of point to as the guy that kind of fills those shoes for JT?
I don't know. I think someone's going to have to step up. We'll see. We'll see what ends up happening. But like I was saying, just in the past, that was something that no one really had to worry about because JT just took it upon himself to do it. He was the guy. And, when you have someone like that, I think everyone always talks about our clubhouse chemistry. A lot of that was because of JT. JT always made sure that we had things going smooth in there. And, we're going to have someone take over that role. And, I don't know who it's going to be, but someone's going to have to step up for it.
Yeah, and like I told Chris last week, after you guys win 5-6 World Series with Doc, he'll be the manager one day. You can be the hitting coach. CT can be like the Bob Guerin. You guys will be the leaders of the Dodgers of the next generation. But I want to ask you about some of the new additions to this year's team, because a lot of people out there saying, oh, the Dodgers were quiet this offseason. They didn't go out there and make any big splash signings, but they did sign JD Martinez, who last time I checked has been one of the best hitters in all of Major League Baseball for the last 8 seasons. And now, Max, I want to ask you, how excited are you to have a hitter of JD Martinez's caliber in this lineup, and what kind of impact do you think he could have on this year's team?
Man, I'm very excited to get to start working with him. I've heard so many good things about him. I've heard, just how much he can help other players. He loves to talk hitting. I know he's close with Rob, and Rob always talks about him. And, it just, when you get a guy that you've heard nothing but great things about, you just get really excited. And on top of that, he's a really good hitter. His numbers speak for themselves. And, I just can't wait to see how he goes about it, how he goes about his routine, what he does on a daily basis, what he does in the cage, what he's doing in BP. I can't wait to watch that. When you have guys that are great hitters like that, there's just so much you can pick up just by watching them. I can't wait to watch. And on top of that, just talk to him, learn about his approach, how he approaches certain pitchers, whether it's a guy he feels comfortable with or a guy he doesn't feel comfortable with. And, I can't wait to get that in there.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome for the hitting junkies. This would be a fly on the wall. Hear all you guys talking shop, make it probably help me, my beer league, softball league, get a single or something. I mean, with all that baseball knowledge in there. But another one of the notable changes comes at the shortstop position. You guys are going to have to replace Trey Turner. And right now, it's looking like Gavin Lux is going to be the guy that's going to fill that role. What are your thoughts on Gavin Lux stepping into a bigger role for you guys this season and his ability to take over the shortstop position full time?
Yeah, Luxie's got the talent, man. He's the talent's there. He's got some of the quickest hands I've ever seen with a bat. They're just so fast, and the defensive hands are there for sure too. I think he'll be fine moving into that role. We'll see what happens. I did just get notifications on my social media that we traded for Miguel Rojas. I don't know if that's true or not. Someone can fact check me on that one. I don't know if you've heard anything about that.
Who needs Jeff Passan when you have Max Muncy? Okay, you broke the story now, but yeah, that is the news that the Dodgers have swung a trade for Miguel Rojas for Jacob Amaya. So that's a great move. You provide some depth at that position, a veteran, a leader. Any thoughts on the Dodgers trading for Miguel Rojas?
Like I said, if that's true, that's exciting news, man. I heard a lot of good things about Miguel, and playing against him, I've always loved his game. He's a good competitor. It seems like he's always held a lot of respect from those guys over there in Miami, and I think that's someone that could fit in well with our clubhouse for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And hey, make sure you remind Kershaw he owes him another steak dinner for saving that no-hitter back in 2014. So that's definitely going to be a great addition having Miggy on that Dodgers team. But yeah, Max, and I also want to get your thoughts on another up-and-coming Dodger that you'll be presumably sharing the infield with in Miguel Vargas. Miggy was able to come up last season, get some valuable experience with you guys. What have you seen from Miggy, and how big of an impact do you think he could have for this team?
Man, that guy can hit. He's when I did my rehab assignment, early on in the year, and I went down to OKC, I saw firsthand what he was doing down there, and then he came up, and I know his numbers weren't necessarily the best, but I'm very impressed with Miguel Vargas. I think one of the things I'm most impressed with is there's so much hype and just kind of hoopla surrounding Miguel Vargas, and he hasn't let any of that get to him. He was there early every day. He was there wanting to work every single day. He wanted, he would be in the cage and he just wanted to watch people hit. And, I was so impressed with that for a guy that is going to be as good as he is. He's going to be a star in this game for sure. I think he can really, really hit. He's got the genes for hitting, obviously. What is it? His dad's the all-time hit leader in Cuba, I think is what it is.
Yep.
Yeah, he's obviously got some hit genes in there, and I just think that the more experience he gets, the greater it's going to be. I think he's going to, he's probably going to struggle a little bit, but that happens with everybody. He's going to be a star for sure.
I love it. Man. I'm hoping that he becomes the 19th Rookie of the Year in Dodgers history. But yeah, getting fans excited about Miggy. Now, Max, I want to touch on how last season ended, because in the regular season, you guys were great. You set a new franchise record with 111 wins, but ultimately you fell short of the team's goal to win the World Series. Now, we know the standard of the Dodgers is always going to be the World Series, and to get to the level that you're at, you guys don't lack any motivation. But considering the way the year ended, is there a little more motivation, a little more fuel on the fire, a little chip on your shoulder heading into this year?
Always. That was a tough exit last year. We played poorly. They played great. They outplayed us. I don't know. It was, I still think about it every single day about what happened in that series. And, we got to make sure that doesn't happen again. And, when that happens, you just, like I said, I've just been sitting here thinking about it every single day. Why did that happen? What did we do wrong? And I know there's a lot of guys that are probably thinking the same thing. I know there's a lot of staff that are thinking the same thing. Front office thinking the same thing. And I know everyone's been working hard and is going to be hungry to show up for spring and make sure that doesn't happen. And I think we have all the right tools, and we just got to go out there and do it.
I love that mindset, Max. I'm going to be right back. I'm about to run through a brick wall based on that response. So you got me hyped want the season to start already. I love that motivation. But yeah, Max, I want to talk a little more about the team for this upcoming season, because like we mentioned earlier, you guys didn't go out there and make these big splash signings, but there's still so many stars on this team, so much depth. Do you feel like this roster, as currently constructed, has as good of a chance as any to go out there and win the World Series this year?
Absolutely. There's no question about it. We're still the Dodgers. I know that we haven't been making the $300 million moves this offseason, but, you guys got to trust Andrew. He's the best in the business at this. And, those guys are putting together what they think is going to be a special team. And I know it's going to be a special team. We have all the pieces that we need. Anyone that gets added from this point on is just going to be icing on the cake for us. We have all the big pieces. We have all the little pieces. We have guys in the minors that are going to come up and help us just like every single year. I don't think people talk about that enough. We always have injuries every year, and we always have people step in and fill the roles. And some of those roles are going to be a little bit bigger this year because it's not necessarily injuries, just departures from the team. And I have no doubt that the guys we have are going to be able to perform and help us out to win games every single night.
And if you look at this division, the Padres, of course, they've been very aggressive. Last season, they traded for Juan Soto. This offseason, they added Xander Bogaerts. There's a lot of talk. Oh, are the Dodgers the favorites in the NL West? What are your thoughts on that? Do you still think the Dodgers are the team to beat in the NL West?
Well, I mean, we're always going to think we're the team to beat. We have to have that mindset. As far as I'm concerned, we're still the ones, we're still the ones on top. We've won the division, 8 out of the last 9 years or 9 out of the last 10 years. I don't know what it is at this point. We are still the Dodgers. And as far as I'm concerned, we're still an extremely good team. Yeah, the Padres made a lot of good moves. They were already an extremely good team. They're going to be tough to beat. There's no doubt about that. But, that's what makes baseball fun. It's going to be a battle out there every single night for us. And, that's just it's something that a lot of the guys on this team are used to. We're used to everyone coming after us, and it's not going to be any different. Nothing's going to get handed to us, and it's never been that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think in the course of a 162-game season, having some real competition in the NL West, that budding rivalry, the Padres and the Dodgers, is going to be good for you guys. And at the end of the day, you have to beat the champs to be the champs, and you guys are still the reigning champs of the NL West. But, Max, I want to switch gears a little bit here and do some rapid-fire questions in a little segment I'm calling Show Me the Muncy. Do some rapid-fire questions, get to know the real you. What do you think, Max?
Sure. Why not, man? Why not?
All right, let's do it. All right. Okay, first question. Who was your favorite player growing up?
Jim Thome.
All right, Jim Thome, Dodgers legend, Hall of Famer. Next question. Which is your favorite ballpark to play at that isn't Dodger Stadium?
Oh, man. I like Texas. Obviously, it's my home. I do like Seattle. Seattle has always been very nice. It's a really cool ballpark. I like Seattle a lot.
Nice. Yeah, I thought as the proud owner of the San Francisco Giants, you would say Oracle, McMuncy Cove out there. But no, I love it.
Man, I am not gonna lie. I hate Oracle Park. I don't get the buzz behind it, man. I don't like it. It's cold. It's windy. The ball sounds terrible when you hit it. I know I've hit well there, but I just never feel like I'm seeing it good, man. It's just I don't like playing there.
Well, the numbers say otherwise, that's for sure. So, but okay, next question. Who is your favorite player to watch around the league that isn't a former Dodger?
Julio Rodriguez last year. That was pretty fun to watch, man. He's got some electric stuff. I'll probably go with Julio Rodriguez right now.
Yeah, J-Rod, what a pick. I remember watching him hitting dingers at Dodger Stadium for the home run derby. But next question, what is your favorite sport other than baseball?
Probably football.
Football, who's your team?
Cowboys.
Cowboys.
Unfortunately, it's the same thing every year, but we got to hold out hope, right?
Favorite pregame meal?
Favorite pregame meal. Tyrone, our chef, makes a sweet chili chicken. I really like that. That's a pretty good one.
Okay, now sticking on the topic of food, and yes, Max, you're from Texas, where this place is from, and this could get a little controversial. You might take some heat for this one, but I have to ask you, In-N-Out or Whataburger?
You already know the answer to that. It's Whataburger, man.
Going with Whataburger. Okay, come on now, Max. They've got In-N-Outs in Texas. It's time for you to convert already. But next one, who is your funniest Dodgers teammate of all time?
Who, like ever or now?
Ever of all time.
I saw CT's thing. Rich Hill's a pretty good one. I might have to go with Belly though. Belly was always nonstop laughs, whether he was trying to or not. It just, I loved Belly. He might be the funniest guy.
Belly will be missed. Okay, I know you're a big gamer. PlayStation or Xbox?
Xbox.
Okay, next one. Toughest pitcher you've ever faced?
That's an easy one. Luis Castillo.
Oof, my guy Luis Castillo. Okay, what was the last?
What are my numbers off him? Like 0 for 13 with 12 Ks, something like that.
I didn't want to bring him up, but dude,
it's no secret at this point.
Okay, Max, and we'll get you out of here on this one. I want to know, what was the more satisfying home run? The get out of the ocean home run off of Bumgarner, or this past season against the White Sox when Tony La Russa, he elected to intentionally walk Trey Turner with 2 strikes to get to you, and you of course hit a 3-run run bomb. As you're rounding the bases, you had some things to say towards that White Sox dugout, towards Tony La Russa. Which of those bombs felt the best, Max?
The La Russa one was pretty good because it was set up beforehand. You know, the Bumgarner one was just a heat of the moment thing. The La Russa one, though, it was. I mean, I completely understood why it happened, but it also just felt so disrespectful. So that one was pretty satisfying.
Yeah, Max, I'm pretty sure you ended what was left of La Russa's managerial career with that one. No one's better at hitting a revenge bomb like Muncy, the bat drop king. But, Max, we thank you so much for the time today joining us here on the Dodgers Nation YouTube channel. Thanks so much for rocking with us. We hope you have a great season. We look forward to talking to you at spring training, and hope you have a great rest of your week.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
But that was Max Muncy, and I appreciate him as always. Great dude. Love talking baseball with the funky Muncy. I think he's going to have a big bounce back here. And I want to know from you guys down below in the comment section, what are your thoughts on Max Muncy saying this team has even more motivation heading into this year? Also, that this team, as currently constructed, can go out there and win the World Series. Do you think this team needs to make any big moves, any big acquisitions, or do you think this team, as constructed, can go out there and win it all? Let me know down below. My name is Doug McCain. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. For all latest Dodgers news and rumors all season long, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. And if you want to see us post even more Dodgers content, you really want to support the channel, smash that like button. And as always, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.